What's good everybody? I'm back. Lots of things have happened. I have the festive season, Hari Raya, the fasting season, and also my birthday and my father's birthday and my sister's birthday. At the span of those 3 weeks, lots and lots of things has happened. But anyway, we are back. I am back. And continuing from previous video, now we are going to paint the Incubi sword, pinkish purplish color. So let's go. Don't forget, if you are not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and click that notification bell icon. Let's go. Okay, now we are finally doing the fun part, the Incubi sword, purple pinkish color, my favorite. Anyway, we start with the pink horror and Sarah's purple. The footage is not capturing the wet palette using the pink horror and Sarah's purple, but what I basically did is to pour the Sarah's purple and pink horror in two sides, quite a bit far apart from each other, and then in between I put a mix of 50-50 mix of Sarah's purple and pink horror, and depending on how much I want the brightness or darkness, I add more of the Sarah's purple or pink horror. It's very simple, so the process is also relatively simple. It's just time consuming, and the techniques involved are a little bit more time consuming, I guess. Yeah, so basically firstly I start with the Sarah's purple, and I just mixed a little bit of pink horror at first, and I start to do that sketching movement to like base the idea of where the reflection points are, and then slowly I will add the pink horror into that, on top of that Sarah's purple. Let's take a look. As you can see here, we are more towards using the pure pink horror color rather than the mix of Sarah's purple and pink horror. And I want to talk a little bit about the techniques that I use to paint this sword. It's unlike glazing, where you are using a very like light colors, almost transparent mixture of color between the water and the pigment itself. This kind of technique, I'm not really sure where I've learned it from, but I'm pretty sure I saw this on YouTube and I tried it out myself. So I use a pretty like regularly thinned coat of paint rather than a super glazed consistency. It's just not too much water and thin enough that it doesn't become very chalky or rather too thick consistency. After that, I dab the paintbrush, the tip, onto the paint itself, and then just take the excess paint off, wipe it on a paper towel, and then I start using the sketching technique. So this sketching technique is basically like drawing on a paper, drawing using a pen, where you kind of like do a very quick sketching movement. Yeah. It's very hard to describe, but yeah, that's what I was doing in this video. After going through the pure pink horror, we start going to the brighter highlight points. And to do that, we add ice yellow into our pink horror mix to emphasize that brightness highlight points. Slowly we add the more and more mixture of the ice yellow, finally to the tip of the highlight points. For edge highlighting, we are also going to use the ice yellow to make the sword more in your face looking. I've been saying this for quite a lot of time in my videos, but for edge highlighting, I will use the favorite source of mine, the airbrush flow improver. So basically I just mix the ice yellow and a little bit of the airbrush flow improver. Once you put that airbrush flow improver, you can definitely and right away see what kind of reaction it does to the pigments and the consistency of the paint. It becomes really runny, and also it doesn't dry out as fast. That's the reason I like using the airbrush flow improver for edge highlighting. So whenever I have the right mixture of paints, like example I want like the edge highlight to be not too bright, I sometimes mix like Zotac green and ice yellow for example, and then using that airbrush flow improver I mix them and then dab it on the paper towel to make sure that my tip is sharp and there's not too much excess. So I just go on to edge highlighting that, and then I can be really confident that this consistency and the amount of paint on the brush is like perfect, and I can go on and on without worrying about the paint drying on the tip, and then I have to dab it again and like clean off the excess on the paper towel. It lasts like, I can say that it's 5 or 10 times much longer than without the airbrush flow improver. It's perfect, I like it. Now we have come to the part where we paint that symbol on the sword. I choose to go with green glowing color because it has a much more different contrast to the pink outline of the other side of the sword. So the mixture is very simple. It's just at first I'm using the pure ivory from Vallejo model color, and then the green itself is using the mood green by Citadel. So what I do at first is to like wet the surface and the recesses of the symbol to make it much more easier for the ivory color to go into that recesses, instead of really having to like touch a deeper part of the recesses, and then that usually results in a very smudgy color, as the ivory will like go outside of the recesses that I want. After painting the ivory on the recesses, I go with the mood green. I can just like use a very light glaze consistency of the paint mixture and then just go over that ivory. It's very easy, nothing too complicated. For the final part of the sword is just to do edge highlighting using pure ivory if I'm not mistaken, and do some battle damage. That one I don't think we need some explanation for that. Basically just using Abaddon Black to have the shadowy effect of the battle damage, and then use a slightly darker mixture of the Abaddon Black and ivory for the reflection point of the battle damage. And then that's it, we are done. Thank you guys for watching. That's all about it for the Incubi sword. It's very simple, just the technique and explanations are a little bit more complicated, and I think this has to be the time consuming part of painting the Incubi other than the body itself. So yeah, thanks for watching. This has been Frosty. I'll see you next week. Maybe.